Right. Good morning, everyone. Melissa here. How do you like my new do? Like half of my hair is gone. It was like way down here, right? My hair. Um, so I cut it last night, and ladies, it's important as you get older to realize that you are getting older. And a lot of times, what a lot of women do is, and I'm not all against this, I am not, but they usually keep their hair really, really, really long. It depends how thick your hair is, okay? But sometimes women cannot wear long hair. I still can wear long hair, but what happens is if you have your hair up and you work all the time, is it starts, all this gets heavy. Like my hair is heavy because it's so thick. And then it starts thinning out because you're pulling on the hair. Now, I went to hairdressing school, so I know a little bit about this. But when you have really thick hair, and maybe later on, you know, when I'm like maybe 20 years older, maybe I'll keep it even longer because it won't be so heavy. So my hair is really thick, and I'll show you. And the main look you want, guys, as you get older, it's not necessarily, oh, I have to have long hair or I have to have short hair. It's kind of what looks good on you. So a lot of times as you get older too, your face, you will start, unless you do collagen, and I don't know if I would do that, but your face starts getting a little more hollow on the cheek side, right? So you want, sometimes if it's long and straggly, it can bring like a drawn look to your face. So you want whatever looks healthy on you, ladies. So I did this last night and I didn't even have a comb. I didn't even have a comb. So I couldn't like put it in a ponytail and get it all even because I just had my brush. And I'm like, well, good enough. Now, usually you don't have to worry about the ends being totally even, okay? But usually what happens is if you use a comb, you can later on go in and go like this with the scissors. Once you basically, and you don't even have to use a ponytail, one ponytail. You can go like this. I got a message. Put it in a rubber band. Put it in a rubber band here. Put it in another rubber band and another rubber band and then just cut it. And if you have a comb, it will be straight, a straight, cut because you combed all your hair through. And then you can go through and just click, cut, cut, cut some, something so it's not so straight. But if you don't even have a comb, ladies, which I've discovered on my own, you can just go through and stick it, in a ponytail without it being totally straight, and you will get that natural, you know, bouncy look on the ends. So my hair already has natural wave in it. So when it's a little shorter, it has that. So whatever looks good on you ladies. Today I'm staying home, and I'm moving on to my video now. Today I'm staying home and I'm relaxing before I go to a new church next week. Now, there are some things you should expect, guys, in a church. One is I saw some crooked stuff, so I am not going to go to this church. I saw a pastor going around talking to people, seeing when they work, how many hours they work, um, a check being written during service. Certain people get help, I'm told. Certain people don't in a church. And when you start seeing stuff like that, it's time to get out. When you see the pastor who looks like he's trying to get greedy and even ask you what your tithing record is. It's none of his darn business what your tithing record is, guys. That's between you and God. And it's not his business to tell you what you should be doing. A church is just a tool God uses in your life. You can go to church or you don't have to go to church. I mean, if you don't want to go to church and you've been hurt by a church, you need to heal up, a little bit. But when a church is really positive and really, preaching Christ to people, then that is different. You don't want a church where it's kind of legalistic or judgmental or, scripture is twisted in a way, like I did some videos about last week. that really is not what the heart of Scripture is saying. So I'm taking a break today, and I do want to talk about something, guys. I had did a video yesterday about when you feel pressure to use pressure and anxiety from post-traumatic stress for your advantage. Also, another thing that women tend to do, and I want to talk about this, and I lost that book by the doctor because I was moving stuff last night and organizing. I need to find that and get back into that book. But another thing women do is disassociate. So they feel all this pressure coming their way, could be at work, could be from anywhere really in life, and you feel pressure, and what you end up doing is disassociating because you've been through an abortion. You know what, you know you've been through it. It's too much to deal with. It's too hard to deal with. So you disassociate. And abortion is abuse, guys. It is totally, total abuse. I did hear a woman speak, and she talked about how God is the ultimate girl father, and He is. He will protect us from those wounds and hurts. Sometimes we go through life and we're like, why did we go through an abortion? Why did we have to go through that? Um, God has a way of redeeming everything, guys. He has a way of helping you when your child has been killed, when someone killed your child, basically, and used you to get what they wanted. So a lot of times we disassociate. We have been through abortion. We can't, you're kind of helpless. You can't, there's nothing you can do about it. So you just kind of hide and you disassociate. When I went through a group of women who talked about some of this with me, I went through like 3 different groups to talk about this. Um, the body can only take so much, guys. It can only take so much. And when your body's acting a certain way, because you're nervous or you don't know what to do, your body can only take so much. So you end up disassociating because you're like, I can't handle this pressure. There's something going on within. I cannot handle it. So what we want to do is we want to come out of disassociation. A lot of times we hide. I still haven't told my boss that I have another job yet. And I'm like, okay, Melissa, when are you going to say this? And I'm like, well, I think I'm afraid of rejection and maybe like feeling like a little bit of a failure because I did sign up for this job. But then when I got the other job, I'm like, no, this one sounds really good too. And I do like this job, but I'm like, this one has more opportunity for me, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you can feel guilt, like you want to be a nice girl and you're feeling guilty. So don't hide is what I'm trying to say. Don't disassociate. When you are going through things, do not disassociate. Do not hide. Abortion, obviously you disassociate. Probably boyfriends after, you just disassociate. You're way out there. But even the little things left over from abortion, like just hiding a little bit, take it before God. God is the one that we need. He is the one we talk to and say, God, why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel like I'm going to have some condemnation and I'm going to feel the shame again? I felt after abortion, if someone's mad at me and my boss is yelling at me or whatever. And I don't even know this guy. I don't even know that he'd yell at me, but maybe to disappoint him. So there's all these things from the abortion guys that get left over. And until we are aware and able to identify even more and put a voice to it and say, okay, I think I'm going to disappoint this person. I'm going to, maybe I expected more out of myself and maybe I feel like a failure. Again, same stuff with abortion. With the abortion, I felt like, I had that under control. There was a condom. I knew what I was doing. I did question, his use of it. It was a wrinkled package. And I did feel I did like everything I was supposed to. And so sometimes when something happens, we feel like, oh my goodness, I'm going to fail. and then the anxiety comes up again. So we need to be able to deal with this, ladies, and be like, okay, what are your triggers? What's going on today? Why are you handling this way? Why don't you handle it a different way? And really be able to use better tools in life to be able to be like, well, you know what, you can handle this a little bit better. And if you do hide, what does this look like to this person? It looks like, they can't read your mind. So to them, it's like, oh, okay, we're on the same page. Everything's cool, and you need to be able to express yourself. And I was thinking, my home is messy. Like wherever I am, I leave a trail. It's not just not picking up after yourself. It's, when I'm busy working, like when I went to school, I have a huge, like, you know, body space that I need my space. So when I'm out here, I'm messy. My books are all around. My papers are all around. Same thing in school. I took up like 4 or 5 desks just for my stuff. And I'm like, why am I like that? Why am I someone who, needs my space? And I feel like because there's so much inner stuff going on sometimes, like I just need to express, um, myself a little bit more than maybe the average person. I don't know. So I'm still trying to figure some of that out. But make sure, ladies, if you've been silenced, with abortion, and yes, you are silenced, and this is why I do not like curriculum that blames just the woman for abortion because the doctors know better, and that's more the people that I have a problem with are the doctors. Um, but when they silence you and they make you, lay down on a table and just take whatever they hand out, and it doesn't matter if it's rude bedside manner, like I told you, my clothes were thrown at me, get dressed, or if it's, something goes wrong, because obviously something was going wrong when the nurse moved, So you got to process this, guys. And it took me years to even think, what did I just go through? Wait a minute, that's not normal. Um, and then when you start seeing more stuff and you start getting in abortion work and, pro-life work, you start seeing it more. And you're like, holy crap, what did I just go through? I just went through a nightmare. And because you disassociated and you were able to tuck away like your deepest part of you, sometimes that comes out later in other areas and you need to deal with that. So that's what I got for today, guys. And the thing about church, back to church, men need to be taking care of women in the church. We will be seeing a lot of post-abortive women get saved, and that is my heart, to see women get saved and to know Christ. Like the woman at the well, God showed her that she needs him, not men, not not food, not any addictions at all, but she needs him. And as we see more women who will get saved, we need the men in the church, not just to take care of their wives, but to men in the community who take care of other women. Um, Churchmen should be more than happy. Whatever you need. Your husband left you, whatever you need, we are here to help you. And that is how men operate. That's how they are supposed to operate, guys. So, I was thinking today, yeah, did I disassociate with some of the boyfriends? Yeah. But was my husband and I real? Did I really love my husband? Absolutely. And you know what? You can have confidence, ladies, that that doesn't just go away. 33 years plus knowing each other since second grade, it's not just going to go away. It's not like, oh, here's a divorce paper and now there's nothing. It's like, no, there was a bond there, and then you have your 5 sons that you see your husband in like every single day because they're you and they're your husband, right? So you see that. You even see, like I saw in one of my sons, I'm like, boy, you look like your grandfather right now, uh, or you look like your Uncle Bill, or you look like Rob May right now, or you look like, you know what I mean? You see, it's just amazing how God allows you as parents to not only speak into your kids' lives, but the DNA, it's not just the DNA, ladies. It is everything that they become. I don't want to say you, but in many ways they represent the whole entire family. You know, there's my voice still in their head, in my son's heads. There is their dad's voice. There is their grandfather's voice. There is their uncle's voice. And it just, then there's genetics where they look like a Kate, and on it goes. And then they do look like a baker. They do. So, God has a plan, and this is why sex is inside a marriage, because you're going to have kids, and they're going to represent the whole entire family. So, so this is the way it's supposed to be. And to imagine getting in trouble for being pregnant, why are you in trouble for getting pregnant? You shouldn't be in trouble for getting pregnant, ladies. Being pregnant is something that naturally happens from having sex, and there is no shame in the pregnancy. There is shame in how people deal with it. Like, oh my goodness, what did you do? You must have done something wrong. You're pregnant. And it's like, no, you actually taught me it's okay to have sex outside of marriage, or no, this boyfriend actually tricked me, or, there's a million things, guys. And for a woman to keep her child, even sex outside of marriage, to keep her child, either to get married or raise her child on her own, whatever the case is, it is not the child's fault. And that mother also needs to be protected. She needs to be protected when she is pregnant. It doesn't matter how that pregnancy came in of itself. It doesn't matter. I mean, if she had a boyfriend, if she didn't have a boyfriend, whatever, that mother needs to be protected, and we need to stop shaming women for just being pregnant. So, we come from a society where people shamed women, and of course it takes a man too. I saw on TikTok the other day this woman saying, I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-choice. I am for daycare. I'm for, what'd she say? Providing, for foster care. I'm for pro-choice for providing health care. I'm pro-choice for this. Those things are all great, but it doesn't negate that it's okay to still kill a child, even if you don't have a health insurance, even if you don't have, even if your kid's in foster care, even if that child is raised poor, it doesn't negate the responsibility to protect that child and protect that mother. So that's what I got for now, guys. I will be talking about more pro-life stuff on my channel, and God always meant for families to stay together, and for, those breaks in the family, for them to be resolved. Okay, thanks for joining me, guys.